I'd like to just go down the line, and then I want to open it up to questions from the audience. But the question that I have is, if you had to give one piece of advice for widget publishers out there, from your own experience, from your own access to superior analytics, from everything that you've thought about and done with your own kind of widget platform tools, what would that piece of advice be? And I'm going to start down at...
So, I would really say that widgets should allow for good personalization. Don't make your users use all the same widgets just because it may have the same content. Let them express themselves, configure it, personalize it, do something with it.
Yeah, I'd kind of add on to that and say, where we're looking is thinking beyond widgets. There's certainly a lot to be done with widgets today, but exactly what you're describing, that personalization, that targeting, appealing to that long tail, it's beyond just a badge that sits on a web page. It's really something that becomes a part of the user's interaction with the web, and that's really key.
I agree completely. Widgets 1.0 is you grab the same set of content and you put it in a bunch of different places and it looks the same. And Widgets 2.0 is it's about you. It's something you want to add to your Facebook profile or to your blog. It's your ratings, your recipes, and and it needs to be deeply integrated in viral channels. You need to be able to access news feeds so you get to the new Facebook walls, right, and stuff like that. And it needs to update regularly.
So I pretty much think that it's given that it has to be personalized, or else no one will grab the widget. The important thing is to really be able to understand how users are using the widget. Because if you're trying to generate a long-term relationship with the user, you need to know how he's been using this application of yours, so you can make sure that you keep tweaking with it to make it work for that user long-term. If you're just doing a short-term campaign, launching a movie, then it's a badge. It goes on for a week. You don't care about how users are using it. If you're trying to create a widget or a Facebook app or any social thing that should remain with the user, then you have to make sure that you understand how they're using it.
All good advice. I think we also like to say simple, shiny, and shareable. Because you can put everything in the kitchen sink inside a widget doesn't mean that it's a good idea. Users generally do what's the path of least resistance, so whatever it is, whatever action you want them to take, make it front and center, make it easy to do.
Yeah, and I think also not just think about the user, but also where the widget's going to live. So if you're just focused on social networks, that's one thing. But if you're trying to have a wider thing, think about the site. So you don't want sites don't want you to drive traffic away from them. Sites want opportunities to have more page views, to share your revenue, and to not just so also you need to consider those needs. Also don't slow down their site. That is like a huge, something as simple as that is a huge thing that keeps people from putting stuff on their sites because your JavaScript is slowing down their site. So just something simple as that makes a big difference.
And just one final thing. One thing we think a lot about is the conflict between the publisher's interests and the widget maker's interests. So a lot of widgets, like Slide, for example, comes to mind. Their branding is extremely prominent if I put their slideshow on my blog. And I may not like that because it's just sort of overwhelming. So try to strike a balance where users can find out about you, but you're not overwhelming them, so it's just about you.
Thanks, guys. I really thought these were amazing demos tonight, probably some of the best widget demos that I've seen. So let's open it up to the audience for a few questions.
Question for the Glam team. Just curious what your business model is. Are you guys going to put advertisements on the widgets that people submit? And also, how does that relate to the content that you guys are serving? If you're a specialized content network, are you looking for specific widgets, or do you guys take anything?
There's the microphone. I think so. What really we're looking for things that work really well with kind of content-focused websites. So it's more about really providing functionality for them. I think that is what's going to enhance them because we're really about tying together, integrating a network of sites. And this is also technology that's not just for sites in our network. This is for, we're trying to create a platform that people could use on sites outside of it. So in terms of our business model, we're primarily, we sell CPM branding campaigns. We're trying to create an environment for brands. So it's a very kind of simple business model. And so applications that fit well in that context is great for us.
And second, just 2 more points about that, is we're really evangelizing a way to balance the publisher's interest and the developer's interest in a way that will create more ads, more real estate for ads. So for example, there's something about the widget that makes me want to click to see more. So instead of going to slide site, I see a larger view, and that larger view has a space for an advertisement. So that's one way. And the second way is that our in-house sales team is going to be constantly looking at the application gallery and looking for popular applications and relevant applications, and then including them in packages to advertisers, and those would have higher CPMs.
If I use one of your platforms to create a widget for Facebook, can I still go through programs such as app verification or grade apps? And if you looked at any group certification